course, now it's live anyway. All right, so I'll be trimming off about 30 seconds, 20 seconds worth of gibberish, but here we go. Hello, friends. Do you have a moment so that we may discuss our Lord and Savior Minarchy? No, seriously, I'm just kidding. Hi, my name's Rick Robinson. I am the general manager of KLRNradio.com. We are probably the largest independent podcast network that you've never heard of. We have a little bit of everything, and by that, what I mean to tell you is we have news, pop culture, special events, conspiratainment, true crime, mental health shows, drama productions, and pretty much everything in between. So if you're looking for a new podcast home to grab a little bit of everything that you love all in one place, come check us out. You can find us on X under @KLRNradio. You can find us on our Rumble and our YouTube channels under the same names. You can also find us at KLRNradio.com and pretty much every podcast catcher known to man. So again, feel free to come check us out anytime you like at KLRNradio.
Hi, everyone. This is JJ, the co-founder of Good Pods. If you haven't heard of it yet, Good Pods is like Goodreads or Instagram, but for podcasts. It's new, it's social, it's different, and it's growing really fast. There are more than 2 million podcasts, and we know that it is impossible to figure out what to listen to. On Good Pods, you follow your friends and podcasters to see what they like. That is the #1 way to discover new shows and episodes. You can find Good Pods on the web or download the app. Happy listening.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
Starting to think either Aggie can't hear anything or I can't hear her. I don't know which one it is. Apparently we're having a technical issue. Go figure. With everything hiccuping the way it did, Aggie, you may need to come out and come back in again. I don't know what's going on. If you can hear me, but you just said you can't anyway, so. One moment, please. I was trying to get things going, and of course everything's being all cranky, but we are having weird weather here again, so that's probably why. I don't know what's going on. Because I'm showing I'm broadcasting and I can hear us on the feed because I just checked. So. Can you hear me now? Apparently you cannot hear me now. Huh. Weird. What's going on? Oh, wait, hang on. I know what it is. No, you're not. You're not muted on my end. That's
okay.
Weird.
Can you hear me?
That was weird. It didn't show you were muted on my end. I don't know what happened.
It showed that I was muted.
I was like, I don't know what's going on. But anyway, so we're here. We're live. And it's
live. Yeah. Okay, this is live. Sorry.
Live radio.
Well, that was interesting. I don't know what happened. I was listening to the ads and then they went away. So I sent you the message and then I didn't hear, I could not hear anything. And I was like, hello.
Yeah, it's been a glitchy kind of day. I think Restream's in the middle of yet another update because they do one about every 2 weeks. And I think they're probably in the middle of one again. Seems like that's when things go kind of nuts, but they do make lots of changes to the platform. Some of them I like, some of them I'm like, that probably could have waited, but here we are.
Okay. Well, I guess I should just start with my spiel. Welcome,
Um,
everyone, to
well, hang
another
on.
episode. Okay, what?
Jeff has a question for you first in the
Oh,
chat.
I don't know. Newbie. I have no idea what that is. So, anyway, welcome, everyone, to another episode of He Said, She Said, running a little late because apparently there was a little glitch in the Matrix again. I am one of your hosts for the evening, Aggie, and with me is the very awesome Rowdy Rick. How are you doing tonight?
You were watching the woman in the red dress, weren't you, Neo? Anyway, I'm doing all right. It's been kind of crazy around here because with all the weather stuff, my work schedule's been a little weird because we didn't have power for like 16 hours, and it overlapped into two broadcasting time frames. So I feel like I'm behind, but I'm getting caught back up. And then you proposed a really cool topic that I don't even know why I never thought of it before. So my brain's been working overtime figuring out what I wanted to have those be. So yeah,
It was inspired. I will say it was inspired, and the
it's,
inspiration.
it's your topic, so it's always inspired. But I know it's
Hey, sometimes they're hits and sometimes they're misses, but this one I thought would be a fun one because, yeah, we've never done something like that before, and everybody's familiar with it. So tonight we were going to do our dream celebrity death matches, and the way that I thought about this was the whole imbroglio that had been going on with President Trump and Pope Leo the 16th, and I was just like a few days ago, it's like, oh my god, this is like a celebrity death match or something, and wait, we can do this. And so yeah, I did a list, and some of them are funny, some of them were like I would pay bank. I honestly would pay bank to watch this. Not gonna lie. So
I'm curious to see how much overlap we have. But yeah, the whole dust up with the Pope's been kind of funny. Although he has tweeted out some stuff that has made me really, really glad I'm not Catholic. So I don't envy you right now.
I I know there is something that we were discussing, and I know you have a faith-based show, and this is something that perhaps Amy and I can come on and speak on one of your shows about because it's getting serious. It's not something, and everybody's saying, "Oh, this is so unprecedented," blah blah. I said, "No, no, no. This is not unprecedented. I mean, have we forgotten Martin Luther? Have we really? There has been a break in the Catholic Church, thus the Protestant, sector. So it has happened before. There have been breaks in many of the some of the churches broke off from other churches that had broken off from the Catholic Church. So it happens. And I was actually speaking to a couple of my friends about this, and I said, it's really weird, but I do think that we're headed for another break in the Catholic Church. And they said, oh no, that can't happen. That just can't happen. And I'm like, do y'all not read history? I mean, it's it's like history always has these really interesting patterns. And I'm looking around, I'm going, I'm actually witnessing a pattern starting to form here. And so it has been really interesting to watch, and it was an interesting theory for me to expand on. But it yeah, a lot of my brethren are not very happy with what's going on with our um, Holy See, and we are talking amongst ourselves about it. So we'll see. I'm just keeping an eye on it.
Yeah, I have to admit, he actually really kind of set me off. And then I saw when we did the weekend news roundup today, it was just Amy and me, but Rooster sent over one of his tweets, and he started basically making it seem like it would be easier and better to do communion with Muslims than it would be Protestants.
Yes, this is a really, really weird thing because it's really strange when you think about it. When you look at the entire scope, you have certain um, religious groups like some of the Presbyterians, some of the Episcopalians who happen to embrace the LGBTQ, etc., openly. They wear the rainbow stuff when they are preaching. They're doing all of that stuff. So they're very pro Palestine. They're very pro, Muslim faith and everything, all that stuff. Never mind that they're probably the first people that are gonna be thrown off the roofs, right? And then you have the Pope saying, "Oh, we can't really easily commune with the Protestant churches, but we can with the Muslim faith." And I'm like, "Are you, I what is in your afternoon tea? I need to know because I need to avoid that tea with everything that I am." This is the most insane thing I have ever seen. It makes absolutely no sense. There is no logic to be found in this. There is no emotional attachment to be found in this. It's almost as if it's wish casting at this point. And I don't see a remedy past a schism in the church. And like
Yeah,
I said, I've been telling this to people. I think there's a break coming. It may not happen in the next 10 years, but there's a break coming. If this if there is no correction in the next couple of years, that break is going to happen.
yeah, I have to admit, I honestly think it's going to happen sooner rather than later. And I don't know if I've ever given one of these to the chat before, but MD just earned this. With his, wasn't Martin Luther that guy from Mission Impossible in Space 1999?
No, it was Martin Landau.
I knew where he was going.
I knew it. But anyway, I know we just started really serious and going down this deep rabbit hole, but we got to get back on track.
Well, the deep rabbit hole inspired a fun topic, so there's that.
Yes, it did. I'm cracking up because some of the ones that I have are just like hilarious. But why don't you go first with your first one,
Okay.
From 5 to 1 or 1 to 5, whatever you want to do.
Well, I have 5 in an honorable mention. My first one, and these are kind of again in no real particular order. But Springer versus Maury, you are the combatant.
Ooh, okay. Golf clap. That would have been great.
It would have been. I think one of the funniest things for me finding out years later, and it was after he had already, stepped down for health reasons, etc. But finding out years later that for the first couple of years of that show, well, I guess it was probably first season and a half, Springer had absolutely no idea what his producers were doing to him. So that shocked face you saw when people started swinging for those first 2 episodes, that was totally legit. He had no idea it was happening, and he didn't know that his producers were spurring the stuff on behind the scenes to spice up their ratings. So yeah, you went from former mayor to talk show guru who didn't realize he was being worked for clout at the time. So yeah, that was probably one of the funniest realizations for me from that show. The other one was realizing in my 20s that I needed a better class of people that I knew, because by 27-ish, I had seen 3 people that I knew on that show, and that's when I knew I needed to make life changes. Just saying. Just saying.
That's a that would I would watch that. I would actually watch that because it's a slight. I mean, seriously, for all of the heat and all of the criticism that those 2 shows were heaped over and over, for all of that, let's face it was a slice of life. It really was. It showed the underbelly, the stuff that most people just hide away from or just ignore or whatever. And there it was, exposed and raw for everybody to see. And some of it was, obviously set up and everything. And but you but it was funny. And sometimes it was tragic and you're watching this, unfold and everything, and it made you grateful that your life was not that bad. you know?
Yeah. I mean, that was part of the reason why I used to watch it, because it was like, no matter how bad your life was, you could turn on that stuff and be like, hey, at least I'm not these people. But it didn't really work for me for very long, because I was like, I may not be these people, but I know some of them. And I
Yes.
don't know how I feel about that. Now, one of them was professionally, because Jerry would always, a couple times a year, do the big drag queen shows, and I knew a couple of the people that went on for those shows because of where I used to work, so that wasn't that big a deal. But when I saw a former neighbor going on because he'd been cheated on, I'm like, I need better life choices.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun.
Oh, dang. Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever known anybody that was on that show. However,
Comma.
there was a similar show in Puerto Rico,
Oh
and
God.
yeah, so you know where I'm going with this. So
Well, you see what had happened to it.
I found out about it like a year and a half after it aired. And the only reason I found out about it is like, as y'all know, I'm in a Facebook group that is just my family. So it's a private group so that it's just for us to like chat and stuff like that. And to keep up with what's going on in Puerto Rico, since quite a few of us, quite a few of the cousins actually live stateside. And I found out about it because one of my cousins absolutely related to another cousin about something that happened on that show. And I was like, thankfully, I was there before dad was. Dad didn't have to call me and tell me, hey, you need to get involved like he usually did. So I was like, whoa, wait. There was a TV show? Like, what is going on? What did I miss? And everybody, they know me because I love the Spanish telenovelas. It's just something that they always knew that I absolutely love. So the one that was getting heat from the other cousin, she comes in and says, tells me what happened on that show. And apparently that other cousin was the other woman in a triangle that was featured on that show. So my first question was, so when you got involved with the guy, did you know that he was married? And then my cousin comes in and says, what makes you think she was involved with the man? And I was like, oh, I am here for this.
Giggity, giggity. Giggity, giggity.
I was like, what is going on in my family? Admittedly, this is a very distant cousin, but I mean, she's still part of the family and everything. And so they were hashing all this stuff, and and finally another cousin just jumped in and said, "Hey, we've had this discussion, and apparently you're still not over this." And it was even resolved on TV. It was resolved before they went on TV. Okay, so it was sensationalized for that show. So that's why I say, sometimes it is staged because that was staged. But apparently my other cousin still had issues about her cousin doing this to another man or whatever. And so I was just like, this is like, I can't believe it. And I'm so glad my dad missed it because he would have been like completely disgusted and he would have just called me up and told me what to write. He would have been so
You're like, I need you to vent for me again, dear.
Yes, basically that's what he would have done. He's not going to type anything, mind you. He's just going to tell me what to type. Then I would be typing. Yeah. So that I would get the heat, but it'd be his words. So, but anyway, yeah. So I would totally watch Maury versus Jerry. That would have been great. And you know what? Those two would have actually enjoyed it.
They probably would have.
Yeah. God rest Jerry, but yeah, he would have.
It was almost it was kind of a toss up between Springer and Maury or Springer and Geraldo, but at the same time, Geraldo was kind of a wuss. So
Yeah, no, Geraldo, no, he wouldn't have. I mean, seriously, he couldn't even take a chair to the face. So he was out for the count.
couldn't take a chair to the face, and couldn't find a vault with anything in it to save his life.
Nope.
But anyway. All right. So what you got for us as far as your first one, your number 5 or whatever?
Mine would be, I know this is silly, but Keanu Reeves versus Michael Vick.
I could see that.
I would pay back for that one.
Now, hang on. Just for clarification, Michael Vick versus Keanu Reeves, or Michael Vick versus like John Wick?
Well, the thing is, Keanu Reeves does like dogs. He's a dog lover. So it would have to be Keanu Reeves. It can't be the character versus the actual person, in my opinion. So that's why I picked Keanu instead of John Wick. But I understand that Michael Vick has reformed and now he runs a foundation for rescuing dogs and all sorts of stuff. So people can change, obviously.
Tax
But
shelter. Tax shelter.
yeah,
Oh,
probably.
wait, yeah. Sorry.
But
Like, I'm
but
talking about
I give him the benefit of the doubt, but like I said, I would love to see that go on.
that would be a good one. And yeah,
Keanu Keanu may
I
not
would,
be as big as Michael Vick, this is true, but he's wily and he's pretty smart, so it'll be a good one.
yeah, it'd probably be a good one. And I wouldn't be surprised if he could take him. To be honest, I think he'd take him.
I
It's
think
always the
so.
quiet. It's always the quiet
It's always
ones
the
that just
quiet
go to
ones.
town, and you just never know.
That's exactly it. I mean, John Wick had retired. He was leading a very quiet life. People should have just left him alone. But no,
He
they
had to kill his
dragged him back
dog.
into it by killing
Just
his
when I
dog. You see,
just
it all
when I
goes back
think
to the
I'm
dog.
out, they pull me back in.
Yep, yep, I am back. So yeah, so that would be for me. I would, and of course, I'd be totally in Keanu Reeves' corner on this.
Nice.
I don't care how reformed Michael Vick is. Keanu is my bae. So I would totally be on this corner, and nobody would blame me.
Wait, I don't. Would you be a better corner person or ring babe? I'm going for ring babe.
No, I'd be a corner person. I'd be a corner person. I've
And
I've I've actually done that job.
nice. Wait, you have seriously?
Yeah, I have.
I don't know.
As
I'm
y'all
surprised
know,
by this.
again, going back to my cousins, I had a lot of pugilists in my family because boxing is a way of life in Puerto Rico. So boxing was something that intramurally was done in my hometown, along with basketball and baseball, the three Bs. And so because I was diminutive, I could slip really quickly between the ropes and bring the stool and all the pail and all that stuff. And yeah, I used to help out a lot of my cousins when they were fighting.
See, learn something new every day. I did not know that. I don't know why I'm surprised that you like wield machetes and stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, there was one time that somebody took the Lord's name in vain right there, or he called him something. He called my cousin some name or something. I don't know what it was. And I just started screeching, it's like, the Lord he's gonna judge you and you will be tested because you are baboso and blah blah blah, all this stuff. And the referee's just looking at me going, somebody needs to calm her down. I think I was like 12.
So, just because it's kind of contractually required anymore ever since the movie came out, I have to back up for just a second because you said this one time at band camp, so I had to do
Oh
it,
yes.
so, anyway. Okay. All right. So I guess my next one, and again, these aren't really in any particular order. I just kind of enjoyed the pairings as I came up with them and then kind of threw in some cool titles of what I would call them if the event was actually happening. So this one would be Brawling at the Book Club, and it's Oprah versus Dr. Phil. Because they don't like each other no more.
Ooh, popcorn.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, ever since Dr. Phil kind of separated himself from Harpo and started his own stuff, he's not, I don't want to say completely conservative, but he's come out as rather pro positive with Trump. So he and Oprah are not friends anymore. So I'm pretty sure that would be a fun one to watch. And I'm thinking that would make some pretty good pay-per-view money.
I think it would too. I think it would be really, really good. Now, I'm not knocking Phil down, but Oprah, she's got rage. So, he's gotta, careful with that. But yeah, that would be a really good one to can you imagine?
Oh, no, I kind of can, but yeah, it would definitely be could you imagine though? I mean, think of this if it happened in like when that the celebrity death match was all the thing, it was like late 90s and you saw Oprah and Dr. Phil trying to kill each other in claymation. Come on, man, that would be great. That would have been
It would
great.
be. Yeah, I also
Mm.
payback. I totally would. That's a really good one, actually, and I am ashamed that I did not think of it. I really am.
Ha.
Okay, this one is good. This is a throwback for me. This one is a major throwback, and you have to go way back to the 1930s.
Oh boy, you're going way back.
Yes, because we all know that Popeye and Bruno were always at it,
You mean
but I
Bluto?
want to see Olive Oil go at it with Wimpy. I do.
Hang on. Giggity giggity. Giggity giggity. I could just imagine the new slogan. I'll gladly pay you a Tuesday for a roll in the heat today.
It would be. I like I said, I don't know why that popped into my head, but I never liked her. I never liked Wimpy, and you know what? Throw them both in a cage match. Whoever wins, whatever. I just sometimes it's not about you liking one person more than the other. You just want to get rid of at least one, so you put the two that you don't like so that you can eliminate one, and then you're down to one that you don't like. This is that instance for me. I don't like either one of those characters. Throw them in
Mm,
there.
this kind of sounds like one of those Puerto Rican mafia kind of moments. I starting to think you might be in Woodsick. Just saying.
I'm sorry, Stephen. I just never liked Wimpy. I don't know why. It could be scars from childhood. I have no idea. But yeah, throw them both in there, see who comes out. My money would be on Wimpy
Yeah.
because let's face it, Olive is just a complainer. All she does is complain all the time. Now, if she whines enough, she might just wear him down. I'm thinking, you know.
I mean, that's how she. That's anyway.
But a good man would actually tune her out, and I think because he has this fixation with the burgers, he would be able to tune her out and outlast her, you know?
It's like
So,
I'm not worried about you. I want a burger.
I know it's a silly one, but I have to put that one in there. Oh my goodness, yeah, so olive
MD
oil
Aggie
versus
hates olive oil and Wimpy, and I hate Casper. So
oh, wow, you hate Casper? Dang, that got dark.
how you gonna hate on a dude that's already dead?
I don't.
Uh,
Although I gotta
uh,
say, when I watched Popeye the movie when it came out with, Robin Williams and Shelley Duvall, and it was actually good. I liked it, so
I like
but
that
no.
movie when I was a kid, but that movie gives me PTSD now because everything we used to laugh at with the tax guy is a thing now.
Yep, it is. It is. And I
I'm like,
cannot
that was supposed to be a movie, not an instruction manual on how to bilk us for every penny we could find. So,
and that's what it has become.
we, we used to remember everybody, like, even when I watched it in the theater, everybody was laughing when the tax man would come through and be like, this much for this, and then there's this, and then there's this fee, and there's this convenience fee, and there's this fee, and there's that fee. And I'm like, we have all of those now. That's not funny anymore. Like booking tickets online, which they made you start doing because of COVID. They pay you they make you pay a convenience fee for being able to book your tickets online that they made you start using pretty much all the time because of COVID when they went to assigned seating. That's not a convenience. That's an inconvenience.
Right.
And then because of the way they do everything, and because it is assigned seating now, you almost don't want to, unless you're just going like in the middle of the day on like a weekday. You don't really just want to show up to the theater because you don't even know if you're going to be able to get a seat. Well, until the movies all start getting stupid. Now you can kind of pick your whatever you want now, anyway. So I guess maybe it's starting to work itself out, but still.
I guess MD makes a good point too about Casper. I didn't realize it until now. I just always thought he was kind of cute because he's got chubby cheeks and you know. But yeah, he's
See, I must have
cute
watched
looking.
Casper. It must have been because I was so young. I don't think I picked up on the woke socialist stuff for Casper. But again, that was, I used to watch Star Trek too, and that stuff didn't used to bother me back then either. It does now, because now I understand what a dumb concept it is. Like, bit of an aside, but I just saw Elon Musk again yesterday talking about with the rise of robotics, how we need to get really good, really high paying universal basic income so everybody can still have money when AI and robots are doing all the jobs. And I'm like, that's not ever going to work. We're not
No,
evolved enough for that yet.
the one that freaked me out was the one where he was talking about how the guy who the FedEx employee that abducted the little girl and killed her, and he tweeted, Elon Musk actually tweeted out he needs, the death penalty or whatever. But if you and I were saying the same thing, our post would be limited. The visibility would have been limited. Have you ever
Oh yeah.
noticed that when you talk
Oh
about
yeah.
this is why I had to change the death and the spelling of death because I didn't want the post visibility limited. But I'm like, okay, so let me get this straight. The rest of us have a separate TOS than the owner. Got it.
Well, of course, that's how that pretty much always works.
But yeah, okay, fine. Anyway, so what's your next one?
All right, so my next one is a bit of a musical one, and this involves Noel and Liam Gallagher, the brothers from Oasis, and it would be Noel versus Liam, Oasis of Pain. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So yeah, for those of you who don't really get it, Noel Gallagher was the band's main songwriter and guitarist. Liam Gallagher was the lead singer. Oasis was one of the biggest
Yeah.
Britpop bands in the 90s with songs like Wonderwall, Don't Look Back, In Anger, and Champagne Supernova. They're almost as famous, though, for fighting with each other as they are for the music. So that's why that would be a good one. So
Yeah, I guess that would be a good one. In that vein, I would have to throw in Steve Perry and Neil Schon.
that's another good one.
Wouldn't
That's
that be a
pretty
good
good.
one? That'd be
Pretty good.
such a great one. Oh, 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 oh. And they would tag team Jonathan Cain too, because apparently he has issues with both of them now. So just throw all three of them into the cage.
See, now I'm gonna have to go find the football episode of Casper because, according to MD, the football episode with Casper is proof positive that he was a woke socialist. So I'm gonna have to look into that now.
Ah, well,
Anyway, but yeah.
I don't doubt it. But yeah, now you'll have to look.
Yeah, I'll get there eventually.
But yeah, yeah, if we're talking music, I would totally throw in Neil Schon and Jonathan Cain and Steve Perry all into the same cage. Only one comes out. Only one of them comes out. And I'm hoping it's Jonathan Cain because he was the cutest one of the three.
3 men enter, 1 man leaves.
Yes.
Welcome to the Thunderdome.
That would be great, wouldn't it? We could pick like we could do an entire show just musicians alone because
Oh yeah,
I mean John Lennon and Paul McCartney go in. Yeah. I
yeah.
can see it.
Yeah. I mean, if we're gonna go if we're gonna go there, we should also consider Cher versus Madonna.
Ooh. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Or
Totally.
and then of course in the more modern music vein, you could go Drake versus Kendrick Lamar.
Oh my goodness, we need to copy these down because we should do an entire music one later.
Nice.
All right, so who's next? I've forgotten.
You're
I
next.
think am I next? Okay.
Yeah.
Um, you know what? This one was a funny one, and most people are like, "Okay, yeah, give it to her because it is pretty funny." But Tiger Woods versus a golf cart.
Oh shit.
I I am not sorry. I'm not. I'm not sorry. I just I'm so tired of the fact that this great athlete, somebody that kids have looked up to for so many years, okay? He he made golf accessible to so many young kids. Before um our high school had a little golf club and everything, and they would go practice at the public golf course. But most of us didn't know. We just thought you're whacking a ball with a stick. I mean, that's pretty much what I had going. And then Tiger Woods comes along and he opens up this particular sport to so many people. And I know that's kind of not giving credit where due with past golfers who have, you know, brought a lot to the sport. But it's just because he was so young, a lot of young people identified with him. You know, I was growing up, I knew who Jack Nicklaus was because he had been on Dinah Shore show. Okay, that's where I knew him from. I had no other idea, and so this for me, Tiger Woods opened up this to a whole generation of young kids and everything. And now, what is this his third time that he crashes a car? Or that he's pulled
Yeah,
over
around there.
because of because he's under the influence or something, and, admittedly, he wasn't drinking, but he was taking, some sort of medication. So, yeah, I put him in the cage match with the golf cart.
I do have one caveat. It can't be a golf cart from one of Trump's courses because the golf cart would let him win.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay, this is true.
yeah,
It
but
has to be from Augusta.
But yeah, the thing that irritates me the most about Woods is dude could afford a driver or an Uber. He could have avoided that entire situation. And then to name drop to the cops as he's being walked to the car. Yeah, I was just on the phone with the president. They don't give a shit. They're just doing their jobs. That whole thing was annoying to me. But then again,
Yeah,
it's
and
kind
it actually puts the, police officers in a very awkward position. Every time that they have to deal with a celebrity, they have to take extra precautions because they're not just trying to deal with a celebrity that has, you know, fractured a law, bent the law, whatever you want to call it, but they also have to deal with the media that follows the celebrity, with the status of this particular individual as perceived by most of the people in this nation or whatever. So it makes it doubly hard for the police when they have to deal with something like this. You have to treat them like you would anybody else because that is your job. But then you're caught in the whole, how could you treat me this way? Don't you know who I am? You know?
so MD wants a battle royale style kind of thing. Richie Blackmore versus every other musician. Um, Jeff has suggested, for no particular reason at all, Sydney Sweeney versus Melania Weintraub. So there's that. I mean, I can't imagine what the reason for that one would be. Not at all. No, 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 not at all. No, 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 not at all.
I don't know. I think
Well,
Sydney could pull this off, Jeff. I'm gonna put it with Sydney.
Yeah, I'm gonna say if I had
Her RBF is spectacular. That alone garners her points. So yeah.
would agree, I would have to put the over under on Sweeney. So anyway, but I wouldn't care which one was over or under.
Yeah, I don't think, most women wouldn't either. They'd be like, "Look at that bitch. Can you believe this?" I'm serious. That's but that's I don't know, maybe just me.
No, 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 no. I've heard similar things from other women, so I see where you're going. All right, so I think it's my turn. I think
Yeah.
I keep losing track because I keep getting distracted. I'm still trying to get that image out of my head. Thanks, Jeff. So for my next one, which actually could kind of work as a bit of cold water, but another one that I kind of thought you would have gotten a kick out of, would be the Death by Decor match starring Martha Stewart and Gwyneth Paltrow.
I'm sorry. Who was the first one?
Martha Stewart.
Martha Stewart. No, I'm gonna give it to Martha. Gonna give it to
Yeah,
Martha.
I mean she's been in prison.
She's been
So.
to prison. Her bestie is Snoop Dogg. Okay. I'm
Dude,
gonna
Snoop
give it to
Dogg is
Martha.
actually a really cool dude, though. I haven't met him, but I was in a venue once where he was, and I heard him chilling out with other folks. He's actually really cool.
Oh
So
no, he totally is. But he's, like I said, he is because he is down to earth. Believe me, she would know certain tips and tricks she got from Snoop. So I would totally give it to Martha on this.
oh yeah,
Besides,
I don't.
I just want Gwyneth Paltrow to go away. She is the most annoying,
Yeah.
unfeeling person. I mean, and when I say unfeeling, it's like I would rather see Kristen Stewart acting than Gwyneth Paltrow. That is how annoying Gwyneth Paltrow is to me. I would
Yeah.
rather watch Kristen Stewart.
Pretty
So,
sure that's how she is to pretty much everybody. But anyway.
yeah, no, I'm gonna have to give it to Martha here. Martha versus pretty much anybody. I mean, I can't think of anybody that could take out Martha. Can you?
No, not really off the top of my head. I get the impression she's a lot tougher than she looks. So
She would have to be. I mean, she with her empire. Yeah, I can totally see it. But yeah, I totally give it to Martha. And and Martha is one of those people that you're like, I love her, and then I hate her, and then I love her again, but then I hate her, but then I love to hate her, but then I hate to love her. But the thing is, I have learned a lot from Martha Stewart. When I used to watch her show Good Things, um, that was I think that was the second show she had. The first show she actually had was on PBS. And this was when she first started, and she had long blonde hair. Believe it or not, she had long blonde hair. Um, and the entire family was always involved in the food and all that stuff. And then she had Good Things for a while. And that show was like, it was amazing because it did teach you things in your house that you could do for home improvement that anybody could handle. And that's where I learned how to pack a suitcase. And it was incredible that I was like, "Oh, wait, and I had luckily for me, I had a paper next to me and pen. So I was writing down everything because this was before TiVo. This was before DVR. And I was writing down the method to which you should adhere to packing a suitcase. I mean, and I learned this before I even got married. As a matter of fact, whenever my husband had to go somewhere for work, a TDY, or he had to go do an inspection elsewhere, or a blood drive or whatever, I would pack the bag. And when he was coming back, he's like, "How the hell did you get everything to fit in this bag? I cannot, I cannot fit everything." I sent him to visit people in Hungary, and he was coming back. He had to tie his shirts to the backpack because he couldn't make anything fit. And I'm like, dude, I put everything in there. How did you not put it back in? And he was like, it just wouldn't fit. I'm like, I don't get it. This running joke in the family is that, oh, you need that pack? Go call Aggie. Aggie will pack it for you. And I will pack bags for people.
So
Thank you, Martha.
basically, what you're saying is you play a mean game of suitcase Jenga.
I do. I really do. And my kids don't understand it, and they don't get it. They don't get it, and I'm like, it's okay. You don't have to get it. Just let me do it. And when my son arrives, he always takes more clothing than when he brings because he's slowly taking the clothes that he had left behind prior to going into the service. So he's slowly taking back all his clothes, right? And when he brings his suitcase, it's like full. And yet I managed to pack like at least 4 or 5 different outfits that he had left behind here into the suitcase. And he's like, "How did you get everything to fit?" And I'm like, "It's magic. It's literally magic."
It's magic.
It is. But yeah, that's what I learned that from Martha Stewart. It was I still remember that episode and it was great. I learned how to do the perfect buttercream. I learned how to do I mean, it's serious. It's like all this stuff. And that was before she had the last show, the good things was just like half an hour. It was just a half an hour show. And then she ended up, like in between that show and the next one, she ended up having some jail time, you know. So, and I believe it was called Camp Cupcake or something like that. That was the nickname for the place where she actually served time. But even there, people liked her. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I mean, everybody always makes fun of federal prisons, but I think she got sent to an especially cushy one. It wouldn't surprise me. So.
Yeah. So that was interesting. Ah, all right. So is it is
Yeah, your turn.
me? Is it
Yep.
me? Okay.
Mhm.
So let's see. My next one, I'm gonna, you know what? Because this was actually challenged by one of them, I would like to see it happen. I want to see Eric Trump versus Hunter Biden. Because Hunter
Ooh.
Biden said that he would challenge it. And he challenged him to a match. So I want to see it. I
Yeah, but
want to
then
see it.
he fled the country. But yeah, I wanna see it too. So, but yeah, kinda hard to do since apparently Hunter Biden has fled the country and is now refusing to pay his attorneys. So there's yeah,
Where the hell
sometimes.
is he?
Nobody really knows. Some other person, I guess, acting as an attorney for him wherever he is now, sent a letter into a newspaper somewhere and basically said that he was abroad and he was refusing to pay his attorneys and he wouldn't be back anytime soon. So, yeah.
Wow. That's that's incredible. I mean, and yet you still have people defending him. I'm like, I don't
Well, yeah,
get it.
but that's because they'll never even hear about this story. I had to dig to find it. I'm like, are you if this was a Republican, this would have been front page news everywhere, everywhere. But since it's Biden's kid, they're like, yeah, never mind. But anyway, so
Figures.
but yeah, I would definitely pay to see that one. Although somebody would have to keep Biden away from the coke before the fight because reasons. I'm just saying.
No, I encourage it.
I don't know. I've seen
But
some people get really, really mad and can take pain really, really well if they snort enough. So, yeah, I actually watched a guy who was hopped up on coke take a taser 3 times and still kept coming. It was not a fun night.
well, that was the whole Rodney King issue. He was so hopped up that it they had to physically beat him to put him in a position where they could hold him. So yeah, I totally get it. I
And
watched Alien Nation. I know what happens when you OD.
yeah, but for them, it was what was it, spoiled milk or something that made
No,
them
no,
go?
it was detergent.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Spoiled milk got them drunk.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
God, I
That's
love
still.
that movie.
Ugh. I actually enjoyed the series more than I enjoyed the movie, but I
I
like this. I
love
like
the
the movie too.
series.
So
God
yeah.
rest Gary Graham. I love that series too. It was awesome.
Yeah, we got on a bit of a tangent with that the other night because BC and Amish and the crew just did Robot Jocks, and Gary Graham happened to be in that, so we kind of went on the alienation tangent for a little bit on
Uh
Rick and Morty. So,
yeah.
but
I miss him. He was so fun.
he was good in everything that he was in, and dude was in a lot of stuff that most people were like, I didn't even know he was in it till I realized it was him. Because yeah. Anyway, all right. So my turn, I think. I
Mhm.
think. All right. So this next one, because we're getting towards the top of the list now. So this one's got to get a little bit of hype. So this is not chef versus chef. This is fine dining versus dive bar chaos. This is Michelin star rage versus donkey sauce confidence. This is screaming precision versus backwards glasses bravado. On one side, you have Chef Gordon Ramsay, the high priest of perfection, the human embodiment of insult based seasoning, a man who can destroy your soul with one look and an undercooked scallop. On the other side, Guy Fieri, mayor of Flavortown, patron saint of bowling shirts, a man who looks like he was forged in the fires of a roadside rib shack and somehow came out stronger. And I present to you, ladies and gentlemen, Fallout in Flavortown. Are you ready to rumble? Because I'm kind of ready to rumble. Just saying.
I would totally pay back for that. I swear to God, as much as I enjoy watching Guy Fieri, especially because he loves food, he enjoys food so much. I think he looks like a little troll figure. You know those little trolls
looks
that
like
you
a treasure
buy
troll.
with the little
Look,
hair?
he looks like a blonde treasure troll. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's so funny. I'm like, yeah, I would totally pay to see this because it would be so epic. And the thing is, they wouldn't touch each other. They just bring in their chef, the a hot plate, their pots, whatever kitchen utensils they're using, and food, and it was a match. That's the way this match would go. Kind of like Iron Chef, but in a cage with deadly knives being flung at each other.
Yeah, the knives would sell it. That would be awesome.
That was a really good one. You're not. I'm just watching this little troll fighting. I can't. Oh goodness. Okay. I calm down. Can you see Guy Fieri in like the boxing briefs or whatever it is, and I can't. I can't. I can't. But I would totally pay for that. That would be a good one. That'd be a fun one.
And it would definitely be fun to watch. But yeah, so that's actually one of my that's like my next to last one already. So it's a good thing I've got a couple of honorable mentions over here.
Yeah, that was. You're not gonna believe my top one.
So.
I
Are you?
also have Gordon Ramsay, but
Oh,
versus John Taffer, bar rescue guy.
oh, I
Can
could
you
see that
imagine?
too. No, yeah, that actually might be better than my pairing, honestly.
The kitchen nightmares versus the bar nightmares. Oh my
Yeah.
God, this would be so great. When I was making my list, that was the very first one that I thought of. And I just could not help but start laughing at just at them yelling at each other. They wouldn't even touch each other. They'd just be yelling at each other. It'd be so great. And I would be there for it. I'd just be watching the whole thing. Just yeah, them yelling at each other is just would be fantastic. But
Um,
yeah, that'd be so great. It's funny. That's our first overlap. Is Gordon Ramsay.
yeah, that is actually our first overlap. But yeah, I honestly think yours would be a bit of a tougher fight. I have a feeling Fieri would probably fold like a cheap suit, but I still thought it would be a good matchup. Those two, they might be taking turns throwing insults at each other for a little bit before they do anything too serious. That could be kind of fun.
I think it would be um very entertaining to watch. Just the insults alone would be the pay-per-view price would be worth it just to see them hurling insults at each other. They wouldn't even have to lift their fists. They just can just stand there and yell at each other. It'd be so great. Although I did think Robert Irvine would also be a really good one
Oh
because
yeah,
he is
that'd be another good
very
one.
fit. That man works out and means it. So that would have been a good one to throw in there. But as far as yelling at each other, no, those two for me it was Gordon Ramsay and John Taffer. That'd be perfect.
You know
And
what we should
then
do?
and then the kid
We should make it
the
a
whole
tag. We should make it a tag team match. That's what we
oh,
should do.
oh, yeah. Can
That
you
would be
imagine the
perfect.
restaurant and bar that would come out of this? It'd be
Uh,
epic.
oh, it would be a lot of fun. It definitely would.
Totally, totally. That would be great. I think I would totally pay back for that one. So, who do you have for honorable mentions?
Actually, this is my top of the title card right now. I haven't gotten there
Oh,
yet.
that's
But
right.
this one, and we talked about this one in the green room, so you should already know what's coming. But so just to give everybody the full experience, ladies and gentlemen, in the sci-fi spectacle of the century, in the red corner, a veteran of the bridge, a baritone of bravado, a man who has never bet a dramatic pause he did not love, the captain of chaos himself, William Shatner. And in the blue corner, the king of oh my, and his not so favorite helmsman anymore, and the king of side-eye, none other than George Takei. And yeah, that would be my title card. So set your phasers to petty. Just
That would all my money. Take all my freaking money right now.
I mean, they're too old to do it IRL anymore, but claymation style would still be awesome.
No, I think I think Shatner could still do it. I think he could.
I mean, Shatner could. I don't really know about the other guy.
I know. He'd probably
Shatner for his age gets around really well. I'm jealous. I don't get around that well, and I'm half his age. So
I know it's hard to believe that that man is over 90 years old. He doesn't act over 90. So it's kind of it's kind of a blessing to see him move so well and speak still eloquently and everything. So so yeah, I'm gonna give it to Shatner here. I'm definitely gonna give it to Shatner here because I want Takei taken down. I
yeah,
just
if nothing else, we need a TKO for Takei.
TKO for Takei.
Although
That would be cool.
I have to give MD props because that's a better title than the one I came up for the other one I just did. Throw down in Flavor Town. That would have been pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, that would be yeah, that would have been good. That would have
And
been good.
then Takei's corner man. Pound his ass, George. No, not like that. Not like that. Not like that.
Not like that, not like that. Oh, man. Let's see. I do have an honorable mention, uh, that I would love to see happening. I would love to see Nick Freitas versus Brian Stelter.
Ooh.
That would be good, wouldn't it?
Why you want to see the potato get mashed like that though?
I like mashed potatoes. It is such a joy to boil those suckers and then put them through my ricer and just so I want to see that live. I would pay to see that live.
That would be a pretty good one though.
I think so. It's just, for me, it was I was watching the update that Secretary of War was giving, and of course the whole Pharisee thing, you know, came out during that briefing, and what a lot of people and the what he was referring to, right?
I don't think I saw the briefing, so I'm not sure.
Okay, so basically Pete Hegseth actually said that the media is basically they're the Pharisees. They're acting like the Pharisees did in the Bible. And he was referring to the fact that here's Jesus. It was during the Sabbath and he healed this individual. And the Pharisees said, oh, he was working on the Sabbath. They were not paying attention to the good work that he did. They were detracting from it in a negative manner. And so that's why Hegseth said that the media act like the Pharisees. So what happens? After that entire briefing, the only thing that Brian Stelter talked about was the Pharisees comment, proving Hegseth correct. It was, I'm watching that going, he's literally proving him correct by just harping on this one thing instead of instead of parsing everything that Hex said prior to that comment, which was the state of um, what was going on in the Strait of Hormuz and in Iran and all that stuff, they just they weren't going to talk about all the good stuff that was going on. They were just going to talk about the fact that the media were called the Pharisees. And I'm like, so basically, you just proved him right. So yes, I would love to see Nick Freitas, who can run circles in debates around anybody, go up against Brian Stelter, who apparently cannot get out of his potato sack long enough to actually make a good point.
Well, I mean, to be fair, he hasn't been able to make a good point in forever. So I guess I don't know.
I guess not. I mean, he was pretty upset, and I'm not gonna lie, I was actually laughing pretty hard because he was so mad about this comment. And I was just like, but you're doing exactly what Hex had said you would do. That you would only talk about the bad thing on the briefing and not talk about all the good points and everything that the military had done. He literally said that that's what you would do, and that's exactly what you're doing. I mean, it was just like, it's like they don't pay attention to themselves.
Well, no, I mean they don't. I mean that's like the going back to Star Trek for a second. One of the most interesting things that I remember seeing in recent months was when Shatner saw a video clip of the new show that had just gotten canceled and was making fun of it until it got canceled. Which was
Really?
was really confusing for me because he was actually tweeting the guys at Paramount and saying, "Hey, we need somebody to actually come and helm Star Trek that knows what they're doing. I'm available." And then they canceled the show, and then he's like, "You guys just don't get it. This stuff's been woke since I did it," which is my point. It's always been that way. But the thing about Star Trek used to be the wokeness didn't matter as much because the stories were good. These are messaging with a story thrown in on the side, and then it's. And I said this to somebody earlier today. It's the whole, the whole quick fixes. They started modern Trek has the feel of some sort of multiplayer online game overlap because all of a sudden you've got Klingon time crystals and red matter and all these things that are nowhere near scientific. I mean, Star Trek used to go out of its way to make everything sound scientific to the point where it actually inspired modern technology, and they've actually figured out their warp field theory is technically viable.
Yep.
But now we're just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. And we don't understand why nobody likes it. Look, I've watched all the new Trek. There were parts of it I liked. There were parts of it that I absolutely hated. The hating was well above the liking. The other shows, there were parts that I hated. There were parts that I liked, but the parts that I liked way outweighed the parts that I didn't like. And we don't get that anymore. And even the guy that's been running the entire thing said for forever that for him, it's messaging over content. And they're just, because it's a streaming environment, they're just going to throw as much content out as they can all at once and see which one sticks. And that obviously didn't work because Paramount's now shifting back to motion pictures for Star Trek, apparently. So.
Great, whatever. I'm just like, I'm tired. I'm really, really tired. I'm tired of Star Trek. I'm tired of Star Wars. I mean, it's like there's just so much blood you can get out of that turnip, But getting back, yes, I would totally pay to see Shatner versus Takei and see Shatner completely destroy Takei with just one insult. Because that's all it would take. We both know this.
I mean, seriously, the funny thing is for years, most of the cast made Shatner seem like he was the a-hole. And I think it's honestly because I don't think they agreed with him politically. Because now that I can see how most of them feel and most of them think, the more I see from Shatner, most of the time I agree with Shatner. And most of the rest of them, I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Like Picardo had an absolute meltdown over that show being canceled.
Yeah,
an absolute meltdown over it. And I'm just like, dude, your line in the opening episode, other than your medical tricorder, was, "I swallowed my comm badge again." Really? It's a Starfleet cadet that swallowed their comm badge. This does not inspire confidence at all. Besides, Odo was swallowing comm badges since the 90s. So just saying. Just saying.
Anyway, so okay. Do I? Is it my turn?
Yeah, we're still doing honorable mention, so I think you're
Yeah.
the next one.
Yes. I don't know. I have an honorable mention? I think I do, but I don't remember what it was. I didn't write that one down. But it had to do with two women.
You
So
have
give
my
me a
attention.
second. It's always women make the best cage matches. Let's face it. We never let go of anything. We take grudges with us wherever we go. We feed the grudges. Okay. We don't let them die. We actually pour miracle grow on those grudges, you know, and prune back and make sure that it's nice and fluffy and very beautiful and flowery. Those grudges, stick around. So yeah, it's always women. I mean, we both said Oprah would probably win against Dr. Phil.
Oh yeah, probably.
But oh no, I would like to put Kat Timpf with Jessica Tarloff.
Oh yes, please.
I would totally. And as tiny as Kat is, she could take her. She could totally take
Charlov's not really. I don't think Charlov's really that much bigger than Kat though. But I do agree. I think Timpf could take her.
I think so too. And I mean, I don't think she would have to do much. Sometimes Tarlov, if her feelings are hurt, she will like crawl back in her shell. Have you ever noticed that? Like she will just like close up and not
Yeah.
talk to anybody on the panel because her feelings were hurt. And I'm like, you need thicker skin, honey. But you're wrong all the time. And
Well,
the thing is, when Harold Ford is there, he does come from the Democrat angle, but he brings some facts to the table. He's actually very open to the ideas and in the exchange and everything. Jessica's not like that. Jessica's kind of not really smart. Just gonna say it.
yeah, well, I think there's a reason she always wears her glasses when she's on that show and doesn't wear them any other time she does any media hits. Because I think she's trying to give the impression. But yeah, and I think the reason she goes turtley when she gets confronted is because a lot of folks, Glenn Beck included, from his time with CNN and Fox, started feeling like everybody was playing caricatures because they all got along really well off camera. Tarlov isn't though. She actually believes what she's saying. So when she gets confronted and doesn't really know what to do because the person who's confronting her is making a better point, she just shuts down because she doesn't know what else to do. So anyway.
Okay. So that would be one of my. I think that would be a good one.
All right, so this one is a little bit of an overlap, but I called this one the British Invasion. Simon Cowell versus Gordon Ramsay would be just about as much fun to watch. Just saying.
Ooh.
Just saying. And then yeah.
Ooh, that would be, man, the more I think about it, the more I think that would really be good.
Yeah. I think my favorite line ever from Hell's Kitchen that has become a GIF was when Gordon Ramsay put his hands on the side of this female chef and he's like, "So what am I making right now? An idiot sandwich?" Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. Well deserved though. Well deserved.
All right. Got any others? Because I got a few more if you don't.
No, you go ahead.
All right. So this one is a bit of retro and has happened in the ring before, but as a death match would be really cool. Hulk Hogan versus Ric Flair. Just saying. I would.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Woo, that'd be a good one.
Like how you worked the woo in there. I was trying to figure out how to do it, and I was like, I can't. And then you pulled it off. I was like, damn it,
Thank you.
damn it.
I had to.
Uh,
But oh yeah, aside empty, yeah, I totally agree. They could have had Harold Ford, who was actually an accomplished politician. But no, they didn't. And
yeah,
I honestly, I think Harold Ford did really great for himself and is quite happy. And I'm glad that he kind of dodged that bullet. Honestly,
yeah. I think yeah, he's probably pretty glad too.
yeah, brother. Empty's killing
That's
me.
twice. Damn it, you upstaged me now twice. Just kidding. And my next honorable mention would be Vin Diesel versus Dwayne Johnson.
Ooh,
Because you know those
there's
two
a good
actually don't
one.
like each other.
They don't?
They can't stand each other.
Wow.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
there's a lot of off-camera tension with those two to the point where at one point Johnson was threatening to just leave the franchise.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Dang. I had no idea. I honestly thought that they were, just fine with each other. I'm hoping that The Rock and Jason Statham actually have a fun relationship outside of filming because their chemistry was really good when they were doing Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah, I think those two actually like each other, and that's the only thing that sold Hobbs and Shaw because the rest of the movie was just fucking retarded.
Oh, it sucked. Not gonna lie, it was awful. A lot of people had fun with it, but I was not one of them. And I like them both. I think they're very entertaining. I don't take them seriously, but I think they're very entertaining. I just but no, no. No, it was not a good it was awful. No. What else you got?
All right, so this one gonna work this one up a little bit more because it's involving somebody that you don't like much. So I'm already pretty sure I know who you're gonna pick. But this one is not just star versus star. This is Megawatt Grin versus Megawatt Grin. This is action hero intensity versus disco era swagger. This is cocky precision versus full tilt charisma. In the red corner, the sprinting, grinning, stunt hurling machine, a man so intense he probably does his own entrance music, Tom Cruise. In the blue corner, the strutting, smirking, silver screen smooth operator, a man who can go from dance floor king to action villain without breaking a sweat, John Travolta.
Tom Cruise versus John Travolta?
Yep.
Oh, well, just based on size alone, John Travolta's gonna squish him like a bug.
Yeah.
Come on. Based on, I think if I had to pick quality of acting and dedication to the craft, I would have to go with Tom Cruise. Based on having fun, I would have to go with Travolta.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know what I mean? I mean, Travolta's now Santa Claus. I mean,
Which is crazy to think about. You know, the guy who was once famous for Mr. Carter is now Santa Claus.
I know.
Well,
I love. I love that commercial because Donna Pascal was in it. And she's like, "Where have you been?" And he just winks at her, and she's just so smiling. And I'm screaming at the first time I saw that commercial. I was screaming, and my daughter was in the other room, and she comes running. It's like, "What's wrong?" It's like, "It's Donna Pascal," and she's like, "What? What is going on? What is even going on with you right now?" And so I actually spent an hour explaining to her why this commercial was so great. And I had to go all the way to Saturday Night Fever and everything after that. And and she was like, "And that's why you screamed?" And I was like, "Yes. And I know you don't get it, but one day you will, because it's going to happen with somebody that you watched on some kind of show or TV movie or whatever, and then you're going to see them like 25, 30, 35 years later, and you're going to be like, where the hell's she been?" You'll be very happy. Trust me. She's like, "Yeah, it's not going to
The most depressing part of that whole sentiment is that used to be true. But now you have to modify it for everybody below like the age of 20 because you'll have to be like, well, someday you'll see your favorite YouTube star, and you'll be like,
Oh, I know.
yeah.
I know. That's sad. It's true, but it's sad. But it's true.
It's very sad, but it's also very true. And you know what made that thought occur to me today? So Gracie has the next couple of Fridays off because they didn't use all their snow days. So I get done with the afternoon work and I head back towards my room for a little bit to chill out. And Gracie's in her room watching YouTube, and I'm like, "What you watching?" She's like, "I'm watching YouTube," and that's pretty much if she's watching anything on TV, it's usually YouTube. I think right now her mom has Disney Plus on because I guess one of the last Spider-Man movies just dropped, and Gracie is a huge
Oh,
Spider-Man fan, so she's having a heyday right now. So anyway, now that she's getting older, I think I'm going to start buying her a few comic books and reading those to her, so she doesn't have hopefully the tough time I had with comic books because for some reason, even though I was reading by age 4 and reading at college level by the time I was 6th grade, I couldn't understand comic books because they weren't always linear in the reading style, and it was really confusing. Because even though it was in separate bubbles, my brain was like going from sentence to sentence because it was right to left. And I'm like, but the next part's over there. And they're like, no, you're supposed to read the other bubble. You're supposed to read the bubble first. I'm like, I don't like it. So I'm hoping maybe she doesn't have that weird hang up because that's what the only thing that ever got me into a lot of the comic book stuff that I pay attention to now was being able to watch the 70s TV shows when I was a kid because I had no real experience with comic books because my brain couldn't sort them out.
no, I had a tough time going panel by panel, bubble by bubble too when I started reading comic books. Um, and when you're reading a comic strip in a newspaper, it's completely different because it's linear. But in a comic book, it's not necessarily linear. You actually have to skip around and figure out how the story is going. And it's not always linear. Sometimes you'll have a center panel in the middle of the 4 panels on one page, and that center panel is not necessarily the last one, and it's not necessarily the third one. It's weird way that sometimes they put it. I totally get it. I totally get it.
Yeah.
I had
A
to
lot of
I
A lot of my friends used to make fun of me for that. I'm like, I just can't make my brain make sense of it. Leave me alone. They're like, dude, you're already reading 6th grade books at age 8 and you can't read a comic book? Like, yeah, sorry. Don't know what to tell you. But yeah, for some reason, my brain short circuited every time I saw the comic book pages because you're right. I loved comic strips. I could make those make sense in my brain. My brain could not make sense of comic books for the longest time. So I haven't tested Gracie yet to see if she has that problem, but she's just now starting to be able to recognize her. She's on task for her sight words, but she's not reading as much as I would have hoped she would have been by now.
well, some people read at a slower pace, and then it clicks, and then they become voracious. My sister, the librarian, it didn't click for her till she was about 5. So,
Nice.
and it was the same thing with talking. She took a long time to start talking. And she had 2 older sisters who talked all the time. So it wasn't like she wasn't exposed to people talking. It's just that she just didn't want to talk. She had no desire to do so. And one day, like she's close to turning 4, she starts talking a mile a minute, and my mom just started crying because she thought her daughter was mute for the longest time.
The question is,
And now she won't shut up.
I was going to say, was she crying for joy or in agony when she realized that her daughter was never going to shut up
Oh
again?
no, now it's agony. I mean, my sister calls my mom, and my mom's like, "I need to go. I can't talk anymore."
See, my family hates me because I do not like talking on the phone. I don't know why it's different doing stuff like this, but it is. But talking on the phone, because I'd spent, a lot of my last few years doing call center work, there's
Mhm.
always this little voice in the back of my head after I've been on the phone for longer than 5 minutes or so, because that was kind of my average handle time groove. That there's a little alarm that starts going off in the back of my head. You've been on the phone too long. You've been on the phone too long. You've been on the phone too long. And people can tell when my voice starts changing because I'm starting to try to rush them off the phone. They're like, you realize you haven't worked at a call center in 4 years, right? I'm like, yeah, but it's ingrained now. I don't know what to tell you. They're like, you talk to people all day, every day, and even have co-hosts that you just have hour-long conversations with, but you won't talk to us on the phone. It's like, I can't. I don't know. I don't know why it doesn't affect me the way it does, but a couple of times I think it honestly has. Because you remember the couple of times before we started it, I'm like, I don't know why, but I'm suddenly having a panic attack right before we went on the air. I think it was that trying to cross over, and I think I managed to beat it back for a while. But yeah, so. And Al is agreeing about something. So I don't know if he's agreeing with M, who just asked if does Mad Magazine count as a comic book, which yes, it does, in my opinion. Anyway.
I guess you waited until you had a question, M. And I guess my sister did too. And that's, when she started talking. We're kind of still waiting.
Amish, I have never thought about saying that, but I may actually steal that. Start a podcast, then I'll talk to you all the time.
Hi, Artie.
All right, I do have at least one more. We're coming up to the end anyway, but this one's another one that I kind of saved as a backup title card just because of the names that are involved. This one would be the beatdown of the billionaires, Elon Musk versus Mark Zuckerberg.
I agree. I agree. I would totally pay back to see that.
As long as the bank we were paying went to charity, I'd be cool with it.
I would have to go with Musk here.
Oh, I would too.
I mean, okay, so everybody knows what Mark Zuckerberg looks like, right? He's very thin.
He looks like Data had a love child with Troy.
Okay, so you're not going to believe this, but yesterday I went to a bomb shelter factory. It is the largest bomb shelter factory in the United States, and it is located near where I live. So we were curious because we are thinking about putting in a tornado shelter, but then we said, why not something bigger that can be a multiple use things like a bomb shelter, which can be a tornado shelter and a root cellar and all this stuff, right? So we went over there out of curiosity.
You're saying you want the 21st century equivalent of a rumpus room.
Well, we went over there, and of course, this guy has built bomb shelters for a lot of celebrities, a lot of politicians, a lot of people all around the world. And they get built on site and then they are shipped out. And these things, people in France have bought these things, people in Germany, in India, Australia. I mean, he will put up a flag every time that he sells one of where it's going, the country that it's going to. I must have seen 28 flags. And I was like, holy crap. But this guy is like he's a true believer. He does honestly think that World War III is just around the corner, right? And this is his livelihood. And so he was explaining all of these things to us. And then he said something about Mark Zuckerberg. And I, of course, had to ask because of course I have to ask. If it sounds like there's some kind of tea, I need it spilled. So I asked him, I was like, so did you build a bomb shelter for Mr. and Mrs. Zuckerberg? And because I addressed them in that manner, he told me, oh yes, let me show you the schematic. He showed me the schematics. That bomb shelter is bigger than my house. Okay. It's on their property and everything, but it is bigger than my house. And I'm like, I, they have everything in it. So basically they built an underground home that is, reinforced and, blah, 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 blah. And so I asked him and said, was there a reason why they wanted it outside? And I said, outside the obvious, because I didn't want it to seem like I was, discounting the possibility that World War III was not around the corner. Okay. So, and he said, well, he seemed to be a very cautious individual, but he also thought that this could be, a place where he could get away without being seen and left alone. So kind of like a panic room too, a panic house because it's just as big as my house, right? And I was like, "Oh, well, I can totally see having something like this and using it as a panic room where you actually want to get away from people and want to be left alone for a while, with gather your thoughts, that kind of thing, because it's incredibly quiet to be in one of those things. Ask me how I know. So I
It
thought that
wouldn't
that
be
was
quiet if your sister was in there.
no, it would not. So having, and then he showed us, the newspaper clippings of when, he did this for him and all that stuff. It was on the LA Times, I believe. And there's Mark Zuckerberg standing, and I'm like, I swear he looks like he's 17 cosplaying or something. I don't understand. What- but it made me think, what is he afraid? Why is he afraid? That kind of thing. And I don't think it's a fear of World War III so much as I want a place where I can hide type of thing for him, which I can completely understand considering, that he's behind Meta and all that. But still, with knowing that about him now, I'm pretty sure that, yeah, Elon would just like walk in and he'd fold like a lawn chair. I don't
Yeah,
think I
I'm
don't
pretty
think
sure.
Zuckerberg could last, no.
No, I don't think he would. Not at all.
So,
Not at all. All right, so I do have one more quick hit honorable mention, just because I want to get it off the board. And I figured you'd enjoy this one anyway, but I got to scroll back up to find the note because I forgot which one I hadn't done yet. So hang on. I actually had a couple, but we'll leave it with this one: Rosie O'Donnell versus Donald Trump.
oh, come on. She doesn't stand a chance.
I didn't say it wouldn't be a bloodbath, but who doesn't want to watch her get her ass stomped?
Eh,
I
that's
mean,
fair.
you'd have to extradite her or something first because she's still in Ireland or something.
Oh, yeah, totally.
But anyway, so that was most of my list. So yeah, I still had more, believe it or not, like Bette Midler versus Barry Manilow.
Well, cool.
Cat
Anyway, I
fight.
guess we should wrap up because Curse of
Stephanos. I'll
Thank
do
you
it for you.
is coming up next. So, Rick, where can we find you?
Don't look for me; it's a trap. You can find me tomorrow on Juxtaposition at 10 p.m. Eastern. You can find me Sunday nights. Haven't decided what I'm doing yet. I keep toying with the idea of flipping the Sunday and the Monday show around, so I'm not doing back-to-back political shows. But then again, Kingdom and Country fits better on Sunday. So it'll probably be Kingdom and Country, Sunday night, 10 p.m. Eastern. Monday, Rick Robinson show at noon, and then America Off the Rails at 10 Eastern. Tuesday, I'll be hanging out with the Men Explained Poorly panel as long as Mother Nature cooperates, because late Tuesday and early Wednesday were fun around here. And then Thursday, I will be off because we're doing my brother's internment Thursday. So Friday, I'll be back around here with you doing He Said, She Said. When I'm not doing all that stuff, you can find me as a contributor at twitchy.com, misfitspolitics.com, and theloftusparty.com. Also produce the Loftus Party podcast, which drops on Tuesdays. You can follow me at RowdyRick73 on pretty much every platform that I am on, including Pickaxe, X, Facebook, now YouTube, because I updated that. And I also, and then you can follow along with the network at KLRN Radio. I forgot what I was saying because that's a lot of words. Anyway, where can folks find you?
You can find me at Aggie the Barkeep over on X, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Tuesday nights doing the Cocktail Lounge with the Everswap Brad Slager, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Friday nights doing He Said, She Said with the Awesome You. The second Wednesday of every month, the guys get together at 8 p.m. to discuss toxic masculinity, and I bring the drink of the evening. And Jeff and I do Spirited Books on the first Monday of every month, usually at 8:30 p.m. Ish.
First Monday-ish. I mean, I have absolutely no room to talk, especially lately, but I just had to get that in there.
All right. Thanks for joining us, everyone. And stay tuned for Curse of Stephanos. Was that
Hey,
close?
you said it.
Okay.
Get the woman a libation. She said it.
Woohoo!
Night, everybody.
Good night, everyone. Oh, forgot to promote the play. Dang it.
Actually, hang on. Breaking news, because I keep forgetting to promote this when we go off the air. So, yes, Curse of Stephanaro is coming up here in just a second. Hopefully, Jeff hasn't pushed the button yet. But don't forget, next week, he said, because I said next week with you, he said, she said, but that's not true, because next week
true.
is Treasure Island with the KNR Radio players. So we needed to fix that real quick. All right, now we're leaving. Bye, everybody. Say goodnight, Gracie.